Are you tired of struggling to remove stubborn 3D print supports? In this video, I'll share my personal settings that make support removal a breeze, while leaving a smooth, flawless first layer underneath. Let's make your 3D printing experience easier and more satisfying. We'll explore a few key settings that, in my opinion, are essential for every 3D printing enthusiast to understand. Let's dive in. As we scroll down, you'll notice the option for branch density. I keep this setting fairly low, and I'll explain why a bit later. Further down, you'll come across another important setting, the support wall line count. While some people prefer just one wall, I personally go with two. This makes the support sturdier, and though it uses a bit more filament, it's worth it to get your print right on the first try instead of wasting filament on multiple attempts. Let's scroll down and see what's next. Here we've arrived at the Z distance setting. It's important to set this to double your layer height. For example, if my layer height for this print is 0.15 millimeters, I set the support Z distance to 0.3 millimeters. If your layer height is 0.2 millimeters, your Z distance should be 0.4 millimeters. The formula is simple. Z distance equals 2 times your layer height. The next setting I want to highlight is the support interface thickness. I set this to 1 millimeter because it creates a solid support base for your model to rest on during printing. Just above that, you'll notice that I have the Enable Support Interface option checked. Scrolling down, you'll see that I've set the roof support pattern to lines. Further down, you'll notice that I've also adjusted the line directions. This ensures that the roof layers bond better, as alternating line directions provide stronger adhesion compared to printing all layers in the same direction. I've applied this method to the top and bottom layers as well. We've only covered a few settings, but there's so much more to explore and understand. These basic adjustments have helped me improve my prints significantly and save filament by avoiding failed attempts. Now, let's jump into Cura and take a look at a model that requires supports. I'll explain everything as simply as possible. With the default settings in Cura, you'll see red marks on the model. These marks indicate where the supports will attach. By adjusting the support overhang angle percentage, you can increase or decrease the supported area, depending on the angle you choose. As I mentioned earlier, my layer height is 0.15 millimeters, and setting the overhang angle to 60% works perfectly for me every time. Now, let's slice the model. Once it's sliced, I'll be able to explain a few more details in depth. Feel free to hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're enjoying the video so far. We can turn off the line color for the shell and infill, making it easier to see the supports more clearly. Remember when I mentioned I'd explain branch density later? Well, here we are. Branch density controls the tips at the ends of your branches. Cura suggests that a higher value helps with better overhangs, but from my experience, those tips can leave marks, especially when using silk filament. For that reason, let's move down to the support interface settings. Instead of having multiple tips, I prefer to enable the support interface and set the support interface thickness to 1 millimeter. This way, the tips are connected by the support interface roof, which holds the first layer of my model securely without any issues. As you can see, the interface roof is being generated in different directions. Do you remember why? Earlier I mentioned that my roof pattern is set to lines, and those lines are set to alternate directions on each layer for better adhesion. Now, let's turn the shell line color back on so we can see how the model layers are being generated on top of the supports. As you can see, a new layer is being created on top of the supports. In a future video, I'll demonstrate how I remove supports, so you can see just how easily they come off, even on very complex models. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more tips and future videos.